Hi guys, I am so excited to sit down with you and record my second YouTube video. Thank you so much for all of your comments, your encouragement. If you sent a love note, a DM, anything, I'm so grateful. A couple of weeks ago on my Instagram, I posted a poll and asked if you had any questions about relocation. So I'm kind of gonna just follow up to those questions that you all posed for me. I'm going to talk about the transition of what it felt like to move here from Columbia, Maryland, and what that felt like for myself and for Justin, how long it took us to adjust, and what things I looked for prior to moving to Nashville. So when I first was requested to relocate to Nashville, when I was on that interview process with the VP, and she said, would you consider moving to Nashville? And I said, if the price is right, the deal is real. The moment we hung up the phone, I was sitting at my laptop because we were on a Zoom, and I immediately started Googling the area that we would potentially be living in. So I Googled the location that she had requested me to be able to transfer to. I wanted to know about the school district. I wanted to know about the diversity demographics. I also wanted to know about the median income for this area. What fun things was there to do here. Additionally, how far would it be from the airport? How commutable would the location be from where we were seeking to live? I Googled everything. So all the things that I was curious about, because in my hometown, I've lived there for the majority of my entire life. I have relocated once before, but you need to know location, location, location is prime. So those are some of the things that I started to look up. I have a little list that I wrote with all your questions here that I wanted to answer. So the first question I have is, do I love living here? I'm gonna be honest, it has its days. There are some days where I'm really proud of myself. I'm really happy for taking the leap to be able to move here, and I feel incredibly brave. And then there are some days where I really miss my family, I really miss my friends, and I want to go home. I'm gonna be completely transparent. I feel like in the first year, it was incredibly exciting. Everything was brand new. You are finding new places to eat. You are finding new experiences for you to enjoy, and that makes it easy in the first year to kind of have this like, oh, you're in the honeymoon phase of living here. And then you are kind of like whiplashed into recognizing that this is your home. Like, you're not on a vacation, you're staying here. For me personally, I went back to Maryland, I think 10 to 12 times our first year living here. And so finally I said to myself, I really want to experience life here in Nashville. I don't want to be running back to Maryland all the time, trying to really relive my life there. I want to experience Nashville and really settle into our life here. And that took some time because, again, it's all new, so you're creating new traditions. So it changes. If I would say I love it here, I think now going into our second year anniversary, I am more at peace with living here than I ever have been. And I think that just varies for each person. I meet tons of people that relocate here all the time. I think at my last check, there were between 100 to 120 people that moved to Nashville every single day. It's an incredibly beautiful area to live in. The people here are, I mean, bar none. The people are incredibly kind. It's very much like Southern hospitality, even though to me it would kind of be like a little bit more like East Coast, like, you know how they reference Midwest, I would say it's like Mid-East. But they very much embrace the Southern hospitality mentality here. The people are just incredibly nice. I mean, even to the point where I will be leaving my local Target and someone will be walking past and be like, oh, can I take your cart for you? You're not getting that in the DMV area, which is DC, Maryland, Virginia. It's never happening. So I do enjoy the people here, and I think that makes a difference. So I think it's what you make it. I've had quite a bit of friends and family come to visit me here as well, which is really nice because then that just continues to have you have the experience of showing other people the things that you love and what you love about living here, which I really like. So do I love it here? I would say yes. Now at this point, because this is my life, I'm not moving back to Maryland. I'm not planning on moving back to Maryland. If I had a choice, I probably would relocate elsewhere instead of moving back to Maryland, probably somewhere warmer. So yes, I would say for right now, I've committed to staying here at least until Justin graduates from high school, if not longer, and continuing to establish residency here. So that's question number one. Number two, how long did it take to adjust? I think that I'm still adjusting. There's still things that I learned that are new. There are still areas that I have yet to explore. There are still experiences that I've had yet to have. One of the things that I really would love to do here is go to Arlington Vineyards, which is a local vineyard located here. And I've never been, and like a lot of people go there over the summer. And so I'm just looking for like the perfect time. I would love to have a picnic there. There's different things that I would like to do here that I just haven't done yet. And I think that will create even better a sense of community for me. So I think adjustment varies based upon the individual. Like I've met families and I've met people who loved it here from day one, and you know, they were so excited, it was their dream to move here. My experience is different because I moved here for work. And so it took me a little bit longer, but I would say it varies based upon the person. You just have to come with an open mind, and that definitely makes a difference, I feel like. How long did it take for Justin to adjust? This is a huge question because originally when we moved here, we were still in the midst of COVID, and so his school was virtually still in session back home. So I thought the best decision for him would be to finish out his end of the school year virtually back home, and then he would take the summer, go back to Maryland, hang and kick it with his friends, and then he would start fresh at the beginning of his next calendar school year here. I would never recommend that to anyone because the entire end of the school year that he was still enjoying all that time with his friends on Zoom, it was just making it that much harder for him to assimilate to his new life here. So then he went home for the summer. He was incredibly homesick. He called multiple times and he's like, I do not want to come back to Nashville, which was breaking my heart because I'm thinking I'm doing the best as I can as a parent and letting him go there for 6 weeks. And essentially he still wasn't really adjusting to our new life here. It kind of took him a little bit longer. Once he finally started his next calendar year here at his new school, that fall, which essentially the kids here go back to school in August, he made friends very quickly, I would say, and met some friends that he really enjoyed hanging out with, and then that made it easier for him living here. So I would not recommend to anyone to do the process how I did. I thought that was the best option because we were still in the midst of COVID, and that was obviously challenging in itself, having to leave all of his friends. And then going back and being in Maryland for 6 weeks was definitely a hard transition for him to come back here at the end of the summer. I would do it differently if I could repeat it again. So it took him probably, I would say, anywhere from 6 to 9 months to really become adjusted and have friends before he really settled into being here. And then last summer, he did go home for a few weeks, only about 2 weeks. And we only traveled to Maryland, I think I went up 5 or 6 times last year, and he went up 1 additional time without me. However, this year he says that he wants to spend the summer here. So that's really exciting to see his transition and him gradually kind of leaning into our new life here as well. And of course, I'm really excited that he wants to spend the summer here. Not necessarily with me, probably with his friends, but I mean, I will take it any way that I can get it. How did I find a place to live? I immediately started looking for a place to live the moment that my VP asked if I would be interested in moving here, because I didn't know how expensive it would be to live here. I didn't know if it was going to be comparable to Maryland or if it was going to be more expensive. In the Maryland, DC, Virginia area, it is incredibly expensive to live. There is a higher median income there, just because of the proximity to both cities of we lived 30 minutes away from Baltimore and then 45 minutes, 45 minutes away from DC. So it's incredibly expensive to live there. And there was a significant savings with living here. Additionally, there are no taxes taken out your check for state taxes for your W-2s. So you get more money in your pocket when you live in a state like that. So your money kind of stretches longer. So originally I looked at multiple different neighborhoods that I wanted to live in. It was definitely garnered towards which school district was going to be best for Justin. That was my main concern, is making sure that he had an excellent education with whatever school we were going to agree to send him to. And that ultimately made my decision over anything. I will say, caveat to that is the original neighborhood that I wanted to move in was $500 a month more expensive than the neighborhood that I picked. And that, to me, it was my budget to go fly to Maryland all the time. So paying for 2 tickets, round trip tickets, cost me about $500 to $600 every time we come up. And I said to myself, do you want to live in this luxury community while it was incredible, or do you want to live in a community that may not be as luxurious as that one, but still incredibly nice, and be able to travel home, you know, every month if I essentially wanted to? And so that's how I budgeted for the decision for me. And there were certain things that were non-negotiables for me that I wanted within my community and within my commute. And so that's all going to vary based upon your personal preference and what's best for you and your family. I really wanted to be able to be close to my work, and I also wanted to be close to Justin's school, and I wanted to be able to maneuver quickly to all the things that we do on a regular basis, the restaurants that we enjoy. Those things were really important to me. But it's all about your budget. I think you should kind of start with your budget and then start with your location. If you have kids, also start with the school systems and what does that look like for you, and what experience do you want that to provide. When Justin was switching schools here, it was really important to me that he was comfortable in a diverse school system, and the diversity is very different than in the DMV area. So we saw multiple schools because you can apply to go to different schools within your county as long as you live within your county. And he was accepted to the other schools that we went to see. However, the diversity was not something he felt comfortable with. So I really let him lead in making that decision and what was best for him. And ultimately it was his decision, the school that he ended up choosing to go to. And so that was a big deal for us and where we were living as well. Next, how did I decide on a school for Justin? So I just answered that. Next is, how did I find our healthcare professionals, service professionals, like my hairstylist, massage therapist, nail tech, esthetician, all those things. So I will be really honest, I used social media to find my hairstylist, and the hairstylist that I started with here is not the hairstylist that I have now. I'm incredibly loyal to my hairstylist in Maryland. I had been with her for 20 years. She is like a big sister to me, so it was really hard to transition to someone new, and getting to know them and establishing a relationship with them. And when I first go in, I'm pretty quiet. I know it doesn't seem that way because I can talk for 17 minutes nonstop, I guess, but I was pretty quiet when I first started going to my new hairstylist here. I went to the first stylist probably for 5 or 6 visits and then decided that it wasn't a good fit for me. And then I was able to receive a referral from someone else to my current stylist. I've been with the current stylist for a year and she is phenomenal. I absolutely love her and I would never trade her for the world. It's so incredible for me to have someone who really truly cares about my hair, and she knows, like, even when I started back working out, she's like, you've been working out because you're sweating and you're sweating out your hair and your ends need to be trimmed even quicker than before. So just for her kind of having that great relationship with me and being able to nurture my hair in such a special way means a lot to me. And also I wanted someone who was close to my home, and that's another thing that I looked for, and I looked for reviews. For her specifically, I read reviews on her booking site. But for other hairstylists, you can use Google reviews or whatever Style Seat or whatever site they book off of. You can look at their reviews there, and that's a huge deal for me too. I also wanted someone who was very professional and really cared about my time. A lot of times for me, for my stylist, I'll go on my lunch break and she has me in and out fairly quickly, which is really, really nice that she honors my time. So that was really important to me as well. Same with the nail technician. I always talk about this. I love painting my own nails, so I only go to get a pedicure once a month, but I looked at reviews, and of course, I like a natural salon for my nail polish, so I really wanted a nail tech in a salon that honored that, and that's how I found my nail tech. Massage therapist was as a referral from one of my staff members. She used to work at a hotel that has a massage spa in the hotel, and so she knew multiple girls there. And for me, I also wanted a diverse team of representatives, so I did really want to try to be able to obviously diversify the techs that I use. And with that being said, she was able to refer me to someone who met my expectations, and I really love her. So I try to see her once every few months. Obviously, massage is a treat, so I don't get to see her super often, but that's how I chose her. My esthetician for my facials, again, I met her through my nail tech. So the nail tech that I had, I ended up meeting my esthetician who does my facials on a monthly basis from her, and again, she's incredible, and I would recommend her any day of the week. I read her reviews. I think she has 75 five-star reviews, which is awesome. For healthcare professionals, I started looking before we came. In the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, I was able to have a diverse representation of all of our healthcare professionals. Here, it's a little bit harder just because the diversity is very different. So I really wanted places where, especially with the Black maternal health crisis, that's something that's important to me, that my voice can be heard and be respected in our healthcare professionals' office, especially with Justin going into his teen years. That was really important to me as well. So reviews. I look at everybody's reviews, what people are saying about everything from the office staff to the actual healthcare provider, and what that looks like. I see an ENT here. I have something called swimmer's ear because I was on a swim team. So I also had to look up an ENT here. That was top notch. And so I'm really glad I found someone that I love. Let's see what the next one is. Making friends. What does that look like for me? So I was really blessed that when I first moved here, one of my friends from back home, Devin, her cousin and his wife ended up moving here at the same time as me. And so I was able to meet them as they were relocating from North Carolina, I think within a few mere weeks of me moving here, which was awesome. Then additionally, my cousin went to high school with another young lady here, and she was able to introduce me to her, which was really awesome too. Sorry, Simba is making noise over here. You wanna come up here? Wanna come on, Mom? Wanna come up? Come on. You coming? Come on. Hi. You say hi? Say hi to you too. Say I'm not quite the bear, but I'm a close second. Yeah, I'm a close second. So I was able to make a friend via that way. In my job, I do meet a lot of people, and so people that I have vibed with, I have made friends with as well. But I really do miss my friends from back home, I won't lie. And also, I miss my friends who aren't necessarily in Maryland. I have a really great friend, Anna, who has relocated 3 times and now lives in Arizona. I miss her. I have a few of my really great friends that also live in New York City, and I miss them as well. So I definitely feel like there will be additional travel in the future to be able to kind of go and see those people. But for making friendships, especially in adult years, because Anna literally said, she's like, you need to make a video solely around how did you make friends and what does that look like. You have to be open, and I think you can't try to look for the same friendships that you have had in the past. These are all new people, all new experiences for you, and it's going to be different. I think the main thing that comes with relocation is you don't move here to do the same things that you were doing back home, to have the same exact friends. You want to provide different experiences for yourself or be open to different things. So I've been really lucky that even with my job, I've had some phenomenal experiences that have been offered to me by people that I meet on a consistent basis, and that's really, really nice. So I really enjoy that. Making friends, you have to be open, and then you have to nurture those relationships. Friendships go both ways, and it can be very challenging when you move to continue to keep the friendships that you have back home, because your life is different and you grow and you progress. And, you know, as much as you want to keep up with those friendships back home, you know, you really have to remind yourself that your life is here, and you don't want to keep kind of living in nostalgia. So you really have to hunker down and kind of make an effort to establish life here. So I think that answers the majority of the questions from this last video that I've had, and then the question box that I post on Instagram as well. I'm really excited for incredible response that you all have had. Thank you so much for your encouraging messages and being so incredibly supportive. And yeah, I think there's so many more parts of relocation. I want to try to keep it short and sweet with every single video, and what that looks like. The main question that I got a lot of, which I'm going to answer in the next video, is about budget and how much did I spend through the relocation process, what does that look like, and what can I share on how much you should save prior to a relocation process, because it is a huge incremental expense and you need to be prepared for that. And a lot of people who hit me up and they're like, I want to relocate, how much money does it cost? And it's like, well, only you know the lifestyle that you live and what that needs to look like and what that is reflective of for your budget. So, but you can always start somewhere. And I feel like that's why it's so important to share this story, because even as a single mom, I feel like if I can do it, anyone can do it. If I can be able to pick up and move 600 miles away, anyone can do this as well. And if it is a desire of your heart, I definitely feel like it can come to pass. So thank you all so much for hanging out with me on my second video. I am looking forward to posting at least once a week. That's what I have committed to. And your encouraging messages and seeing the video count go up and seeing my subscribers makes me really excited. And I really hope that this is helpful for you. Of course, down the line, the next video, I want to focus on budget. Eventually, I want to focus on just the neighborhoods that are in the surrounding area in Nashville as well, what that looks like and how you can become better acclimated with making the best choice for you and your family when you relocate. Safety is a huge concern as well. So all of those things I want to be able to address in upcoming videos. I hope you had a great time checking this one out, and I look forward to seeing you on the next one.